All right, this is Seth Green, your host. We are going to go ahead and get started on this very exclusive $500 challenge presentation. Now, we kept the number of people that we allowed on this really, really small. And the reason for that is at the end, we've only got 5 slots for people to take test drive to get paid $500 to test drive their employee peak performance productivity system. So we didn't want to have 1,000 people on the webinar because we would have just ended up disappointing most of them. So make sure you stay tuned till the end so that way we can show you you have the best chance of obviously getting paid to implement your own employee peak performance productivity system if you qualify. So without any further ado, let's dive right in. Again, we're going to pay you $500 to test drive your very own employee peak performance productivity system. This is not a gimmick. This is completely above board, honest, transparent. This is actually happening. Now, I started Market Domination LLC back in 2007, which is my direct response marketing firm. And it started out as me and one client. And since then, it's grown to an office building full of amazing staff members. And it's also we've grown to serve thousands of clients literally all over the globe. And as we gained popularity in clients, I obviously had to hire employees to help me serve them because I couldn't do it all. And then along the way, we've been inspired to create new services and new products. However, it turned out that my business was nothing more than a high-paying, really stressful job because my life got crazy as I tried managing and juggling both my clients and my employees and keeping everybody happy. And I was literally pulling my hair out. I cannot even tell you how high my stress level was. I was not the husband or father or friend I should have been. In all honesty, my coping mechanism for dealing with stress was, well, one, I would try and hide it. I would mask it. I would withdraw. I would be quiet. There were days I wanted to curl up, stay in bed. I didn't want to get out of bed because I didn't want to deal with the crap, with the demands of, I didn't want pissed off clients. I didn't want frustrated employees. I didn't want to have to tell them things over and over again. But everything changed. Literally, this was the way, because I took the $500 challenge that you're about to learn about. And because of that, this is how I was managing. In all honesty, this was my management system. It started out as a cork board with Post-it notes stacked all over it. And then I graduated to a whiteboard. And then I graduated to an Excel spreadsheet. And then I tried Google Docs. I tried Basecamp. I tried Slack. I tried a number of the different project management systems that are out there, and none of them worked. They all had different bells and whistles, but none of them did what I needed them to do. So because of the $500 challenge, and thank God I found it when I did, because I don't know what I would have done, I went from chaos to clarity. And it's something I'm going to show you more of, but this is our dashboard of our employee peak performance system, where we can literally see where every client is, every step of the way through with the service that they're getting, where each employee is delivering each step, what's missing, what's working, what's not working. It literally saved my sanity, probably saved my business, significantly improved my marriage and my relationship with my kids. I know this might not necessarily look like much, but that simple administration area allows me to watch the progress of my employees as they deliver results to my clients. It's a dream come true solution, and I was paid $500 to test drive it. I got paid $500 for to test drive something that made my business and my life so much better. Before I had this employee peak performance system, I was literally pulling my hair out. I was trying to micromanage my employees. I'd literally every day say, hey, what are you doing about this? What are you doing about that? I would tell somebody something, hey, I need you to go do X. And then I'd assume that they did it. And like 2 weeks later, the client would be screaming at me going, how come I don't have this? And I would go back to the employee and say, how come you didn't do it? He's like, oh, I forgot. Or, oh, I got too busy. Or I emailed you back. Didn't you get it? And people fell through the cracks. Like, I had clients who honestly weren't happy. I had clients leave. It would be like, I think you're too busy. I think your customer service is slipping. So, I mean, I had all of those. I mean, that was, in all honesty, transparency. We lost clients because we didn't have this, because we weren't doing our jobs as well as we could have done. And then the day that changed my life happened. I was introduced to Scott Palat, and Scott asked me one question that changed everything for me. And I'm going to ask you the same question. And I want you to think about it. And it was actually a question I had to ask myself and then fill in the X as I saw it. So here's the question. If my employees could produce X results consistently, it would explode my company. I want you to write this down. It's that important. It will literally change your life. If my employees could produce X result consistently, it would explode my company. Now, it took me some time to figure out what my X is. And if you're familiar with the work of Verne Harnish, founder of the company Gazelles, and he wrote the book Scaling Up and the Rockefeller Habits. Scaling Up was the second book. Highly, highly recommend it. He talks about key performance indicators. How do you measure? What are the metrics by which you determine, are we doing a good job? This is exactly what we're talking about, a KPI, a key performance indicator, or your X. So it took me a few minutes to think about, what is the first X? If my employees could produce X result consistently, it would explode my company. What's the X? And my first X is to have my managers, my employees, deliver podcast results to our clients month after month without me having to be involved in the details or the delivery. That was my first X. Now, I have since gone on to create other employee peak performance systems in my own business with other X is not X's and this is X wives, but X's, other desired outcomes. So I want you to think about, what is your X? So Scott told me, what's the key thing that if your employees could deliver would explode your company? And I said, took me a little while, and I said, if we could deliver right now, our sexiest service is our Done For You podcast into book program. If my employees could deliver those results to those clients every month without me having to do it, the sky would be the limit. So Scott said, hey, you want to take the $500 challenge? I, of course, said, what's the $500 challenge? And he told me, and I thought he was kidding. He said, I can make your X a reality. I can literally get your employees to do exactly what you're looking for. And you can sit back on a laptop anywhere in the world and watch it happen and not have to do the work and see the results getting delivered to your clients. And I'll pay you $500 to let me set it up for you. And I thought it was BS, honestly. I was like, come on, you're going to pay me to build this for me? I said, sign me up. Like, if you're serious, let's do it. That would change my life. And he did what he said he would do. He did all of it. But again, this webinar today isn't about me. This is about your business and taking your company to a whole another level. So what's your X? Your X is literally limited to your imagination. So your X could be the number of sales. How many sales are your employees generating? Are your employees delivering results to clients? And then it depends on what results they're delivering. Your X could be the number of units made. If you manufactured, if you produce things, it could be an info product. How many binders did we put together and ship? It could be the number of speaking gigs you got. It could be the number of calls your employees made, whether those are sales calls, prospecting calls, customer service calls. It could be, heck, you could use this to increase the percentage of open rates in your email. It's literally limited to your imagination. What is your X? So if you can identify your X, you qualify for the $500 challenge. And Scott will change your life the same way he changed mine. So I want to make sure you understand, if you don't have an X that would explode your company, then you don't qualify for the $500 challenge. Because for example, let's say your company's cruising along and you're doing just fine and you're happy, but you like the idea of having systems in place that, let's say, would stabilize your company in case a key employee goes down. That's great, and you should have them, but that's not what the $500 challenge is all about. $500 challenge is only for companies like mine, who will hit the ground running and see instant results, because we want you to get results right away. And the results that we're looking to help you achieve are more revenue, or less stress, or systems that allow your employees to do what they need to do in order to take your company to the next level. So if you have an X that would explode your company, that would increase your revenue, that would reduce your stress, that would allow your employees to do what they need to do, then Scott and his team of ETC, etc., software certified consultants will personally work with you to create your very own employee peak performance system that will revolve around the number one result your company needs in place to get you to the next level, exactly the way he did for me. Now, it is really eye-opening to work with Scott and his team because they're able to identify procedures and accountability pieces you would never see on your own. I speaking this from experience, he thinks totally differently. So it's one thing to, like, let's say, be in a mastermind group and get a hot seat and have other people offer you advice about solving a challenge in your business. Scott takes it to a whole nother level because his isn't just about, here's an idea to solve an issue for a day. Here's a procedure, a system to be built that will solve it forever and allow you to scale, which is without more stress. So increased revenue, less stress. Because normally we go out and generate a whole bunch of sales, you got to fulfill, right? And fulfillment can sometimes be stressful. Not anymore. Not if you've got a system that will handle it for you. So because Scott's done this for so many businesses, he sees things and he's fresh eyes. He's outside. He's not in your business. He's outside of it. He sees things that otherwise you may never have seen on your own. I know that is true. I've created 3 now employee peak performance systems for different services that we offer because of just being exposed to Scott's thinking. I mean, that type of consulting alone is priceless. I mean, if Scott had told me, hey, listen, I can tell you how to fix that issue and I'll charge you a couple grand in consulting for it, I would have hired him on the spot because it would have been worth it to me to know how to fix my issue. I was honestly working with a couple other coaches before I met Scott, trying to find a way to fix it. But the fact that he paid me to fix it, I mean, talk about risk reversal. I mean, it's downright comical. He should have charged me he should be charging you. He should have charged me, but instead he's willing to pay you to do it. He wants to, the reason why is because he wants to attract the right business leaders with this offer. And I mean, from what I've seen and experienced, he's on his way to helping hundreds of companies around the world grow in ways they never even thought were possible. You know, the funny thing is, Scott has what I think is probably a dream lifestyle. I mean, the guy skis. He lives in Colorado, I believe, and skis all the time. I stopped counting, but there's plenty of times I send him messages or I call him and he's like, oh, he tells me, he doesn't normally tell regular clients, but like, he's like, I'm skiing right now, or I'm heading out skiing, or I'm skiing tomorrow. I'm like, dude, you live on the ski slopes. I want your life. I want to be you when I grow up. And now, because of the system he built, the employee peak performance system in my business, I'm getting to that point, and you will too, where things can just literally run on autopilot. So I want to take you on a tour of the software so you can see how this solution can explode your company firsthand. So hang on one second. We're going to go in the software, and I'm literally going to show it to you. All right, here we go.
To show you how many thousands of dollars this little secret can help your company earn and save at the same time. Plus, you're about to discover a proven method to explode your company fast. First, I have some very important questions to ask, and based on how you answer, will determine how many thousands of dollars your company can earn or save. Would your company earn more revenue if your current employees followed procedures better? Would your company benefit from analyzing current procedures and fine-tuning them into results-focused procedures? Is your company gaining so much popularity that it's hard to train and hire new employees to grow? And finally, would your company be screwed if a key employee in a key position went down today? If you answered yes to even one of these questions, you're going to love what I'm about to show you next. My name is Scott Pallett. I operate Healthy Revelations and Tutorfy from my home in Colorado. And I do have one confession to make. I normally don't wear a suit in my home office. I just put it on for this video. And even though I was smiling in that picture, I was not smiling when both of my companies stopped growing a few years ago. I became very depressed and really just didn't know what to do. At about the same time, I attended a seminar where Williams E. Deming's philosophies were taught. Deming is an American business icon who is famous for transforming Toyota and many other large companies. The revelation I took away from the seminar was how Deming proved that 94% of a company growth problem is the fault of the system and not the employee. Just knowing that a system breakdown was probably to blame for my growth problem helped me accept responsibility and focus on a solution before pointing the finger at my employees, which I already started to do. In order to get out of my rut, I had to get my employees to become accountable to following new results-focused procedures that were specifically designed to make a difference to the bottom line. Once I established which results-focused procedures to put in place, I had to be certain each employee was following these procedures every day. Before I go any further, I want to make sure you know what results-focused procedures are. Simply put, they are procedures that are always being measured by the desired result you have the guts to go for. Here are some examples. Instead of putting a team of sales reps through sales training, how about going for something huge like the creation of a double your sales in 90 days program? For new sales reps, name it the How to Make Your First Sale This Week program. Instead of calling it customer service training, why not name it How to Become the Friendliest Customer Service Reps in the Whole Wide World? And just to show you this idea can work with any type of job, instead of widget maker training for your assembly line employees, create the 99.9% perfection assembly line specialist training program. By framing the name of your program around a desired result, your employees will indeed be focused on that result. It's like magic. Let me say that again. By framing the name of your program around a desired result, your employees will indeed be focused on that result. Heck, you can stop the video right now and even try framing your current training programs around more specific results, and I guarantee you'll see a difference. By making this small but important change, your entire team and every department will rally around the goals you lay out. Before you know it, your head trainers will start creating programs based on your desired results. The measurement of these results are easy to identify in the form of sales, happy customers, perfect products, and more. There are no limits to what this new type of thinking and implementation can do for your company. This might sound cool so far, but I do have some bad news. I can't hide the fact that your head trainer will not get it right the first time, and he or she might feel extra pressure to perform the way you expect. The truth is, they might have to tweak the program several times until they nail the result you want, and that's okay. Want to know why? The feedback your trainer receives will help him or her create the perfect program, and once it's in place, everything is going to change for your company. And that's just a fact. Once you do it the first time, you want to use this same strategy again for other revenue-generating areas of your business. As far as your company goes, you probably have company procedures in place already, but if they are not results-focused procedures, it might be time for a change. If you do have results-focused procedures but don't have a method in place to ensure each employee does their job properly every day, it's going to be hard to grow your company. Or maybe you do have online interactive training. Perhaps you have training videos. Maybe you have written procedures. But still, how do you know they're doing their job as you want? The answer is you probably don't, and this can be affecting your bottom line. Whether your company has detailed job description procedures or not, we can help you create a results-focused accountability program so you can rest easy, earn more money, save time, and trim costs. Let me take you on a quick tour and show you the magic of ETC software. Welcome to Evolutionary Training and Coaching Software. What you're looking at here is an expert account, my own, and you're also looking at all the programs I created to operate Healthy Revelations without me ever being there. And as you will see, I have quite an extensive number of programs, and some are newer than others. And in fact, I'm happy to say I have a live example to show you. This is a program I recently created called Producing Maximum Profits While Managing Healthy Revelations Email Lists. So as it turns out, my email list is actually an asset, and I was able to hire a manager to really take over and create a brand new revenue stream with my email list. So what I ended up doing was, at first figuring some things out for myself, but then putting what I figured out into a program, and that's what I want to show you right now. So when you have an expert account, you will have employees. In this instance, this tab is called clients, but it's the same thing. And this is my client right now, Sarah. I'm sorry, my employee, Sarah, who is currently going through my program. And right now, she needs approval. So the way my program works, as you're going to see in a moment here, you can't get to module 2 until you complete module 1. And it has to be manually approved, not automated. That's very important, as you're going to see. So Sarah just completed a lesson, and I got an email notifying me. And right now, I'm going to, see how she responded to my questions or tasks. I use a little bit of both. So right now, I'm looking at the client. And I'm looking at her as a coach, by the way. So the coach or manager is kind of under the expert. So there's different levels to this. So right now, I'm her manager, and Sarah is going through the program. As you'll see here, you can put notes if you want. You could put notes every time you log in here, or however you want to do it. It's just an option. But this is the actual program I put together. And really what you're looking at are the answers that Sarah is responding to. Because the main thing is, I'm only going to approve her once she proves competence and I know I can trust her. So the way I kind of laid out this program, and I'll show you the actual program in a moment here, but and this is kind of how I usually do most of the programs. I always start with kind of an introduction just so I can kind of give my employees a big picture of what they're about to master as they go through the training program. And as you'll see here, some of the answers that I really like to read, which allow me to know that my employee really has got the concept, got what I'm teaching, is a open-ended question, and we call it a text area. So in this particular question, I say describe the process. And what I'm really looking for here in terms of the types of answers is, an employee who went through my video or whether it's written instruction or video and really grab the details and can describe the process. I mean, that's what I'm looking for, because again, I need to be able to trust them that they're going to be able to do the work exactly as I described. And in this instance, I actually have 2 different email lists, and I need to make sure they understand the details of each of the email lists they're going to be managing within my company. And that's exactly why I asked them to describe the process. But anyway, as you'll see here, she ended up doing pretty good. And let me take a moment and show you the actual program itself. All right, so this is just a preview of what my employee, Sarah, is looking at right now as she's going through. And as you'll see how all the lessons are structured a very specific way. And the format is pretty much all within these tables. And the questions I'm going to ask, or the tasks I'm going to ask, my employee to do are right there. And in terms of the actual instruction, like I said, I love to use videos, but you can totally use written instruction as well. And this is what the employee is seeing. And then when they actually answer the questions, they press I completed lesson 2, and from there I get a notification, and then I manually approve them. So anyway, this is the program. Just kind of want to give you an idea of how I structure it. And of course, there are many different ways to structure it, but that's how I do it. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to show you how I approve my employee to move on into the next lesson. So right now, this is where she's at. These are the lessons that, and as you can see, I can update a note if I want. I can, give her some feedback within there, or you can talk to your employee as well. So in this case, and actually I'll even show you it's actually kind of a funny, this is kind of a funny lesson. What was it at? Sorry. Okay, right here. So in this instance, we actually resend our emails to the people that did not open. And it's very specific, because we don't want to send someone who opened our email another email saying the same thing. So the question I asked, I just said on a scale of 1 to 10, how careful will you be when doing the resend process? If 10 was extremely careful and 1 was downright careless. So, just keep in mind, this comes back to framing. Like, I'm literally framing her mind around how important this is. And that's why I'm able to, get such great employees. So a lot of the art of putting these programs together really is asking the right questions. And that's something me and my team will be able to help you with for sure, because we have years of experience doing this. But anyway, I love her answer. Look at that. That is the greatest answer ever. I'm absolutely going to approve that. And now she'll get a notification. And then on my end, you'll notice the green light disappeared. So she's going to now be able to move forward into lesson 5 or module 5, you know, whatever you want to call it. And that's how I'm using this software. And literally it has exploded my company and given me so much freedom, because all the details are in here. Everything, every job that somebody is doing is right here at their fingertips. And I can even have another manager train somebody else, which I did. And I'm looking forward to showing you this. So I hired someone recently. I got to remember which one it was. I believe it was this one. The Become the World's Friendliest Customer Service Phone Rep. So that's the name of the program. And Angel was trained by my manager, who really was my main employee, Suzanne. Now, keep in mind, I just threw Suzanne into the fire, and I basically just said, hey, you know, you're responsible for Angel's success here. All you have to do is graduate her only once she proves competence, and you know you can trust her to do this. And literally, Suzanne just took the bull by the horns. And as you can see here, this is all my manager, Suzanne, you know, graduating technically her employee right through the program without me even teaching her how to use the software. I literally just said, you're responsible, and she figured it out, because it really is that simple. This is the result of it all. So my employee, who's still actually going through the training, was trained by my manager, and it was the coolest thing ever, because I didn't have to do a thing other than create the program. I created the program once, but now I can scale, and that's another huge thing to think about when, you know, trying to explode your company. So I also want to show you, actually, let me go back here one more time real quick, because this is important. You can definitely change the look. You do not have to have this logo, this header, anything. So there's a setting page, and you can use a custom layout and make this look how you want. So I just want to point that out to you. These are going to be your coaches, your managers, and you know, you can just set these up and grow your company as you do. And of course, these are your, whether it's employees or clients, and I'll show you in a second kind of some of the other ways I've used it. But the main thing I wanted to show you in this is just how I use it to really outsource every aspect of my health relations company, from shipping to customer service to every other little detail that really makes my company tick. And keep in mind, I'm still, you know, growing my company. I'm going to be creating new programs, just like I created this one out of, you know, thin air. So now that you got a decent understanding of how it works, I want to show you some of the other programs that people have created. Just kind of touch on them. You know, a lot of my clients are using this to train people how to use their software, which is pretty cool. And you'll notice here this 1.0 stuff, and let me expand this. You know, I set it up so you can keep upgrading your program to 2.0, 3.0, and really just making the old one, you know, obsolete, which is actually, what's his name, Buckminster Fuller. That's his philosophy. You know, make a new one, make the old one obsolete. So as you'll see here, Kate Michaels, who is actually doing an amazing job, I guess I'll say, with the software. I mean, she took the bull by the horns and created certification programs for her coaches, who are just having such a tremendous impact on people's lives. And Kate is already on 3.0 for some of her programs, because she keeps making them better. And keep in mind, you're going to be making this better as you get feedback from your employees or your clients, however you want to do it. But we can do certification programs. We can teach people how to write and train people for your software. For anything you have, we can train them, which is what, again, a lot of my clients are doing here. Going through here. You can outsource and grow your company, as this guy did here. You know, this is how you grow. This is what you have to do. You have to be able to put systems in place that people can pick up on, master the details, allow you to step out while it's getting done the way you expect. If you like the idea of exploding your company to all new heights, you'll appreciate a conversation with me or one of my consultants. Just fill out the form below, and we'll schedule a time to speak and see if ETC software is right for you.
All right, so isn't that cool? I mean, that is the software. It is absolutely incredible. Let's go. So that's the tour. So now that you see the power of the system, let's see if you qualify for the $500 challenge. So remember, if you qualify, Scott and his team will help you nail down your results-focused procedures. That means, what is your X? From there, you have 1 week to create a series of videos around each procedure. That's the training videos. And then you'll get $250 to get started on your videos. And you'll get another $250 when the videos are received within a week's time. That's the $500 challenge in a nutshell. From there, Scott and his team will create your program and hand deliver it to you soon after your videos are completed. Your employee peak performance system will literally be created for you, and you'll receive instructional training videos that show you how to launch it. It's so cool. You're going to love it. The best part of this, you don't pay for any of this until launch day. Your credit card is only required after the program launches. So you get to see the system, you get to create it, you get to test drive it all before you and we literally pay you so that we can build it before you actually take it over. If you like it, you keep it, you see the instant results in your business, you want to keep going, it's $250 for the first month, $500 for the second month, and then $1,000 a month after that for up to 10 users. Now, the beauty of this is the price includes ongoing consulting, which is worth way more than the software itself. And you can cancel anytime if you feel this is not a good fit for your company. If you need more than 10 users, because you got more than, let's say, 10 employees, then it's $1,000 more per month for each group of 10. That's the good news. And I have to tell you, this software is literally life-changing. It's made my life so much easier, so much better. My company is now growing, but I'm sane at the same time because I know it's all being taken care of. I've created multiple employee peak performance systems. I've had Scott and his team create multiple 3 systems in my business, and I keep coming up with ideas on more because there's more stuff that I'm like, oh, anytime. It's funny, I got an email the other day. I had a client who was frustrated about something, and my old self would have gone, oh my God, would have let it affect my emotional state, would have get me all upset. And now I realize, no, this is an opportunity for feedback. If client number 1 is feeling this way and telling me, then there's probably other clients feeling the same way about the same issue, and they just haven't told me yet. This is an opportunity to create a system to prevent this from ever happening again and keep the clients happier. So it's such, I can't sing Scott's praises enough. So that's the good news. The bad news, only the first 5 people who take action by filling out the form I'm going to share with you in a minute will qualify for the $500 challenge. At the current time, Scott just doesn't have enough ETC software consultants to handle more than 5 businesses at a time. So if you miss out on this, but you still want in, you'll be placed on a waiting list, and Scott promises you'll be contacted within 30 days to get started. So don't miss being one of the first 5 and schedule your initial consultation today. Now, there is a disclaimer. Even if you're not paired with Scott personally, he assured me that he will be overseeing all the procedures, programs, and accountability pieces that go into your employee peak performance system. I was lucky enough to get to know Scott, and he's a different type of guy. Like, his mindset revolves around measured results and making things as efficiently as possible. Like, he literally will say to me, stump me. You know, I say, I have an issue. I'm wondering if this software will work to create a solution. And he'll say, come on, man, try and stump me. Give me something good. And no matter what I come up with, he's like, oh, that's easy. I'm like, damn it, I want to stump Scott. So he knows he can help companies make the impossible possible. So the only question is, what result do you want your employees to give you each and every day? As for me personally, Scott taught me how to have a system run my business that actually delivers the results to my clients without me being there. I mean, I would never have had an open mind to these possibilities without my initial consultation. Remember, if you're like me, I was pulling my hair out trying to figure out with 2 other coaches how to solve these issues, and they weren't helping. It took Scott's different mindset to open my eyes to the possibility that it wasn't a client problem. It wasn't a people problem. It was a process problem. And it was a process that could be automated, running actual people, getting them to do what they were supposed to, and holding them accountable while I managed it from wherever. So you got to do the initial, if you have any desire for this at all, you got to do the initial consultation. Again, it doesn't cost you anything. We're literally paying you to ultimately set this up for you. And so I'm watching the explosion right now that Scott promised me. And it's beautiful because it's organized and it's precise. And my employees are literally excited about it. It's so funny. I came up with another program this week that we're airing this. And I emailed Scott. I said, this is what I want to do. Will this work? He said, yes, no problem. That's easy. I can do that. he built it out. I told my employees all about it, and they're literally excited. They can't wait. They're like, when can we start? When can we start? This is so cool. And they're getting more done. They're getting better results for the clients than ever before. It's going to all be yours too. So, I mean, my employees are focused on the results and know what they're supposed to be doing without me hounding them about the details and then trying to remember who I told to do what and make sure they're doing it and feel like I had to be on top of them. I would complain to my wife. I'd be like, why do I have to nag so-and-so to get stuff done? I told them once, isn't that enough? Why do I have to remind them to do it? Don't they just do it? And she's like, oh, honey, you just don't understand people. Now I just log into the software and I watch their progress every step of the way. And you can too. So, I mean, I told Scott I want to be him when I grow up. I told him he's my hero, but literally he saved my sanity and possibly my business because now we can grow and hire more people and train more people and serve more clients without, me going crazy, which is, the dream we all had, right? As entrepreneurs, we wanted this smooth, efficient running business that is an asset that drives passive revenue for us, income every month, that we don't have to work 80 hours a week unless you want to, and we don't have to pull our hair out or be all stressed out. And this is honestly the ticket, because I tried everything else and it didn't work. So even if you're not one of the 5 people who get in today, you'll still get an opportunity to take the challenge and explode your company. Just fill out the form today. And if we can't get to you this month, we'll guarantee you we'll get you within the next 30 days.